Hello, Internet. Hello, Henry. Hello, Sydney, because I know that you're there. Yes, Sydney, I see you. Hello. This is After Campfire. My name's Sam Rubenstein. There's a glare behind my head, so I look absolutely delightful. I'm gonna move over so that I'm in the glare more like, oh. Um, I am here making a video today because I am home from a wedding that I went to this weekend, and it was amazing and it was phenomenal. And we're going to talk about more later. And this is an after campfire, and I really didn't want to make this video just because I wanted to be rude and not allow Henry to make a video next week with Sydney. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. So, I saw Henry and Sydney last week. It was delightful. We threw axes. Um, I didn't do well, but that's okay. The season starts on Thursday, so I'll be better hopefully by then. Um, then I went on vacation. I went, well, not a vacation. It wasn't. I went to a wedding. It was really fun. It was up in Vermont, right over the border between New York and Vermont, at a lake called Lake Beaumessine. And one of the best parts of it was, it was a goth chic wedding. So I went. I wore all like blacks and grays, and I wasn't out of place in doing that. There were a lot of people who were dressed similarly, and it was a beautiful, phenomenal area, very spooky, Halloween. There was a mosh pit in the dance, which is exactly what I needed because it made me realize how much I miss going to concerts, like especially considering like it was like one of my friends who I go to concerts with, and I was like, yeah. So we were screaming pop punk and emo music and dancing and skanking and fun and fighting, and it was a phenomenal experience, and I very much enjoyed every part of it. And I went kayaking on a lake in the middle of the beginning of October, and like that's really cool. And I got to explore a lot of the local area because there's a lot when you go to a wedding for like a long period of time. Like I was there for 3 days. Showed up Friday, stayed Saturday, left today. Um, there's a lot of downtime, so I used that downtime to kind of explore the area, see what was around, and I found a bunch of little breweries. I found an antique bookshop that I spent too much money in. I found some gift stores and this and that, and like all these really cool art things. And I had a great time. And then tomorrow I go back to school, and school has just been that's it. It's just been. School's been just a bin of bins, and there was bins, and the kids should be in the bins because there's kids and bins, and it was it's been bad. I can't think of another. Like I was trying to come up with a nice way to be like, it's not. We're having a tough, but that's it. That's all I got. Um, I have a class of students where I think there's about 12, 13 kids in the class. There's six of us, because everyone else has COVID. And then in another class, there's like four kids because the entire class is COVID. And then in another class, a kid just left for COVID. And like, I had to get tested before going to this wedding because, like, what if I were to get the COVID? And like, no one seems to be saying anything or giving any instruction. And that's awful. And then on top of that, we've been doing state testing because, we didn't get to give those kids enough tests last year. So let's give them more. Ha ha! Like, we're trying our best. I can't say too much about how work is going because God forbid people watch this. So it was a very much needed trip to Vermont, and I very much enjoyed myself, and I had a great time, and I missed getting to see Jason. It didn't line up where we could see each other, and it makes me very sad. So we'll have to try it again, which is great because we're doing a road trip to Jason. We just don't know when, and Jason doesn't know it yet, but we're doing a road trip to Jason. So that was that. That was how that went. I asked Henry if you could become magically good at something, like just phenomenal. And Henry added, like, overnight, you just wake up and you're a genius at it. I want to be a genius at Um, Music. I love music, and I'm just not good at music. And I feel like I've answered that, but like if I could wake up and just be an overnight like musical prodigy, where you just put any instrument in front of me and I'm able to play it, that would be awesome. My other option is Photoshop. If I could just instantly be good at Photoshop, that'd be great. Like I'm sick of trying to put in all this work to be good at things. I'm sick of trying to put in work to be good at things. Is kind of how I'm feeling about a lot of things right now. But I'm doing it and I'm trying real hard, and that's what matters, you know? You wake up and you try your best. Um, so that's all I have to say about that. And then Henry asked a question about if the original creators were back and would I want to make it and a remake or a continuation of a show, and I don't care at all. I don't care at all. Um, like I'd love to have a good answer. I don't. I watch shows for the story, and if the story is bad, I stop watching the shows. And if the story suddenly becomes good again, I'll finish watching the shows. And like I find that especially with like the amount of cartoons that I watch and like these kinds of ideas, you know, a lot of smart TV shows, smart cartoon creators right now are doing these stories where it's like we just want to write a story, and when the story's over, the show ends. And that I find that when shows overstay their welcome is when the writing goes bad, not when a certain person leaves. Like Seth MacFarlane's still there at Family Guy, and it sucks. It's just not good. So the answer to your question, Henry, is I don't care. I don't. I shouldn't. I won't. I'm not gonna ever. I'm sorry. There's there's not a single show out there where I'm like, oh man, I missed this writer. And it's not because the writers are good or bad. It's I don't think I think of that deeply into the writing in that sense. Like I don't think of like the writer. I think of the work of the crew that puts the show together, because it's more than one person in a room. Like it's a lot of people, and I find that when the crew itself is strong, the show is strong. And so like one person can leave and that crew could still be strong, or one person can leave and that crew was never actually that strong to begin with. Um, so their show sucks. Like that's my answer. There's no nope, there's no not a single one. I can't think of one. I don't think I'm ever gonna think of one. Nope. I want to see large stories told by lots of people working together. Um, I'm so tired. It's been a long life. Um, so this past weekend, like I said, I was at this wedding and it was drop dead gorgeous. Beautiful scenery, phenomenal venue, wonderful themes, and you know, all of this stuff. And so I guess my question to Henry, kind of keeping on this idea of like this wedding, is ah, um if you could have like a dream wedding, what would it be like? What themes would it be? Where would it be? I think that's a really cool thing that I didn't really like think about. People put a lot of thought into like where their wedding is. You know, just tell me about your dream wedding, like in depth, like who's there, who's the bride. I mean, not even the brides, but like what are people wearing? I don't know why I think that. Oh boy, it's been a week. Oh jeez. Who is there? What are they doing? How are people dressed? What's the theme? What's the location? Who's the bride? I'm going to bed. Good night. After campfire. Good night.